Hello, and welcome to Health and Fitness Redefined. I'm your host, Anthony Amen. Join me today as we take a dive into the world of health and fitness, where we learn how to overcome adversity, depict fact versus fiction, and see health and fitness in a whole new light. Today, guys, we're going to get moving, and we're moving because we're going to Fit Body Boot Camp. That's right. Today on the show, we're going to have Mike O'Toole. He's going to give us the lowdown on something he calls reverse dieting. Haven't heard that one before. And learn all about Fit Body Boot Camp. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show, Mike. How's it going, man?
What's up, Anthony? How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Likewise.
And first and foremost, I want you to tell our audience who's Mike, how did Mike get involved in fitness, and how did you come to own a Fit Body Boot Camp, man?
All right.
Give us the lowdown.
As wonderful Anthony said, my name is Mike. I am the owner in Lindenhurst Fit Body Boot Camp. I've been a coach for, maybe about 8 years, probably plus now. It's all a big blur. It started off with me going to that doctor to try to just get that yearly checkup thing, do blood work, this, that, the other. Comes back around, the phone call, oh man, scared the crap out of me. They turned around and basically said, we need to talk to you. We need to get you right back in. Got me worried, so I went back in. Blood levels, all over the place. Not in the best place to be. So it really freaked me out, and I started taking things a heck of a lot more seriously. Before then, hanging out with friends, just working out, doing little things here and there, nothing too crazy, just trying to look good. Started taking a lot more seriously and deeper diving into, what all health and fitness means, all those little parts and that add up to the overall goal of the six-pack, glorious six-pack, right? So just started taking better care of myself, reading, studying. And I got pretty solid with the results I was getting and my understanding and how I was learning. And as I'm sure a lot of you out there have experienced, unfortunately, sometimes we lose some family members way too early on. And happens a little too often for me. And what I started thinking is like, how the heck do we stop this? How the heck do we create more longevity? How do we get great grandparents playing tackle football with their great grandkids in the backyard? No flag. We're talking full on contact. So that's where it started from. I got, my NASM certification, just started studying that, going through original strength, some restorative movement training, paired up with some really great doctors teaching me anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, all that really good stuff.
I just want to chime in real quick here. I want to go back to something we've had a couple of guests on the show talk about, but I really want you to elaborate a little more on, where they get that phone call from the physician and it's like, hey, we need to talk. And then you go into the office and they're like, this isn't good. So can you kind of explain why maybe some people that light probably doesn't go off, but others it does? What do you think that has to do with? And can you just elaborate more on how you felt?
It surrounded around my cholesterol. Like, I thought I was on a pretty good track. I wasn't really going out, doing a whole lot of partying, doing a whole lot of fast food eating. Thought I was okay. I wasn't exactly the healthiest, but still, definitely not a McDonald's line liver. So when they sat down and they told me about it, I don't know, it freaked me out. I did not want to have the line cut short, to put it in a nice way. You see these people, everyone from celebrities to next door neighbor, like, oh, they were so young, 40s, 50s, 60s, blink of an eye without you even realizing. And it can happen from something as simple as having your cholesterol levels being off. Everything gets built up and it's just a ticking time bomb. I wish I could connect the dots of how it would affect some people more than others. I guess maybe because how some of my relatives passed away from something similar, it kind of freaked me out because they were relatively young. And they were just happy, normal people doing what they do, right? Just living, enjoying life, going about it. And all of a sudden the next day they're not there. I just, I did not want that to happen. Obviously I still want to have, the great physicality, the abs, the presence, the ability to squat 600 pounds, like, squat like Chow. I wish I can connect it better for you than it just sparked in me. I really wish I could say what. I don't know. I guess my past experiences made it more real. You know what I mean? Like, you hear about people in certain accidents and certain walks of life, and it's like we do feel for them, right? But then all of a sudden, when you experience it yourself, it's very, very, it just makes it more real.
Yeah, it kind of brings it, seeing is believing, I guess, is
Yeah,
the.
the best way I can put it. I mean, I encourage everyone to take those kind of conversations with doctors seriously. Yes, it doesn't mean the next French fry you eat is going to be it. No, but you know what? You probably should treat it that way and just get the habits rolling right off the bat, not letting it sit and wait longer. You know, you need to find that inner strength, the inner courage, and just say, look, this is what I'm dealing with. I need to take care of this now. I can't just, it's like people who don't go to the doctor because they don't want to hear the bad news. You need to know what's going on in order to fight it, in order to battle it.
I like that. You can't be punching in the dark, right? I mean, you can tell me
Exactly.
all about that.
You need to see your target. I mean, yeah, to be like those 80 movies Kung Fu Masters with the blindfold on and blocking punches and stuff, that'd be great. But unfortunately, our world, our life is not like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's continue. So you kind of became a coach. I'm sure you bounced around some gyms and then just pulled it and said, let me do this. Let me open my own spot, right?
Exactly. I mean, maybe not as many spots. I was in 2 other gyms beforehand. One was definitely a stretch, doing some athletic performance training with a gym over in Hop Hog. That was fun. And the opportunity just came up with Fit Body Boot Camp. It just presented itself. They aligned with the things that I believed in. Not handing someone a diet of tuna fish and crackers and saying going for it, but actually caring about someone and wanting to teach them the concepts, the ideas, the habits, right? To have them live on, whether they're with me 3 months or 3 years. I feel like I've bettered them in some way, and I hopefully have added a few years to their life. And that's what we're all about here. We're trying to help the people who feel like there's not enough time in the world, that there's too much information, it's too crazy, it's too difficult, it's too whatever. One of the rules in my gym is the C word doesn't exist, the can't word, right? If someone drops the can't word, I haven't pushed it on anyone, but I do threaten like 20 burpees if you drop one of those.
I like it, man.
No, it's the mindset. You know what? You may not be there yet, but nothing is impossible. You just need to keep working for it. With that being said, I'm a huge Batman fan.
I was just thinking about that because I have it in my office. I have the Batman that says everything is impossible till somebody does it.
I have the exact same one.
Okay, so see, me and you are exactly like, I'm a diehard. My car says Wayne Enterprises on it.
Nice.
I'm a nut.
Yes, I mean, granted, it's a comic book, but you know what? The idea that someone can push themselves and work on these things to become that. I truly believe, yes, we may not be able to do everything that you see in the movies or the comic books, but we can get pretty dang close.
That's why I love Batman. It was somebody who's Joe Schmo. He didn't get some magical Krypton powers because of the yellow sun or whatever. Wasn't touched by God. He's just some guy that just got so fed up from the way he was being treated that he worked his butt off to get where he wanted to be.
Exactly. So someone who starts off doing, a half push-up in some form of modified position is the same person that's going to be banging out the next world record. I don't even remember what it is. It is possible.
I love it. So you kind of branched on the idea that you guys kind of work on the whole person.
Yes.
Instead of just a little bit of exercising and kind of go on the big. So can you elaborate on that a little more? What does working on a whole person mean to you? And what do you think the new norm should be for gyms in this aspect going forward?
Working on the whole person, like as you just heard me saying about mindset, that's one of the things that we focus on here, or we try to push not only through ourselves, but in some of our teachings, things that we talk about, challenging our members. I've had members stare at a box thinking, I'm not gonna be able to jump this. And the next thing you know, I have them do a couple next to it and prove it to themselves. Proving to someone that they do have the strength to do these things, and the positivity to make these positive changes in their lives. Someone who comes in, I can't get my diet done. I'm never going to lose this weight. No. The answer is always 4. The answer is always 4. It may be 1 + 3, maybe 2 + 2. We just need to figure out what the equation is for you. Everyone's a little bit different. That doesn't mean it's impossible. So, just some of the mindset of getting things done, starting with small habits, drinking a certain amount of water, getting a certain amount of protein in, making sure you get workouts in, small little habits to help roll that snowball, right? That big snowball effect that we love to see when things really get rolling with our clients, just getting it to roll downhill. At first it's tough, but then we start just going through, yeah, heck, we can provide you an amazing workout, right? But it's the small follow-ups and the other side of it that I appreciate even more. Someone's like, oh, you know, I had such a hard time drinking water, but now I'm getting it done. I just feel better. My skin looks better. I just think better. My head's clearer. I'm sleeping better. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Someone who is just trying to fight off diabetes. I have a few members like this that are trying to push past that scare area where they may become pre-diabetic. Being able to just work out a little bit and, okay, change up the diet a little bit. I don't have to eat nothing but kale. I can have regular food. I can actually go out to have a slice of pizza with my girlfriends or a glass of wine, whatever, once every couple weeks, right? Being able to fit that into more of a normal lifestyle. I think there's still that big facade of it's got to be nothing but chicken and steamed broccoli, otherwise it doesn't happen. Teaching people to realize that there's other ways to go about it has been a huge thing. So those three aspects, fitting the mind, body, and, you know, the strength, I would say soul, but I like the strength better, fitting it all into one. I would love to see more gyms go through and do that. I mean, you and I were speaking beforehand about, you know, the reasons why we do it. You know, we want to do it to help people. And it's not always about how many push-ups someone can do, all right? Are they doing them correctly? Are they doing them so they can save their shoulders later on? That's something that I personally bring to my location, a little bit more, just doing things safer, better form for longevity. You know, a lot of people just get or download, you know, the latest diet from X trainer and just pass it off, you know, rebrand it, pass it off as their own, having no understanding about how someone lives when they're done with that diet. Okay, getting into it, that's something, but what does it look like when they go back into real life? And do they have the mindset to say, oh, I did this, I can do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we do a challenge here, I lost a whole bunch of weight. How about signing up for a Tough Mudder with us? Run with our team. Let's go. Oh, I can't do monkey bars.
That's why you look familiar. I think I've done one with you guys before.
Maybe not this location. We had one scheduled a couple of years ago, but it was that really hot heat streak where was at the New York Marathon. We were signed up for it and it got canceled. It was us and another
Tough Mudder. They canceled it because it was 95 degrees.
That's right. It was a Tough Mudder. We were psyched. I offered my members special training sessions for that, where we did something similar to those obstacles, so they felt even more confident about hitting that field and killing it. And we were psyched, ready to go. We had our shirts on, and they were like, "Nope, canceled." It was the worst.
It's all right. Next year, Redefine Fitness and Fit Body Bootcamp are doing a conjoined Tough Mudder.
I am there, sir. Hold I'll be there with flags and bells on for you.
Awesome. And I want to talk a little bit more about this topic. You were talking about dieting, how dieting is a bad word. I think we can all agree upon that now. People think chicken, rice, veggies. Well, you know what? My favorite dessert's baklava. You know what you're never taking away from me? Baklava. Doesn't mean I'm eating it every day, but I'm treating myself once every 6 months roughly because, oh, I deserve this now. And I'm taking away that negative connotation. We've talked a little previously on the show with other guests about the difference between a cheat meal and a treat meal.
Right.
Where cheating has a negative connotation, yes, and you're always going to feel guilty. It's going to make you eat worse because, like, oh my God, I'm treating myself wrong. Whereas a treat meal would be, I'm eating this because I deserve it. I've done A, B, C, D, E, and now I get my reward.
Yeah. I will say that I unfortunately use that phrase a little too often.
It's okay.
I do push to go for the treat meal because that's how I see it and how I believe it. But not everyone, but many people, as you just said, use the word cheat meal or cheat day or whatever you want to say, however you want to phrase it. So, you know, just using basic language, that's how I end up saying it. So, but yes, the treat meal, getting someone to that point, like, people think right off the jump, they can, every Friday I'm going to have a treat meal or a treat snack or something like that. You have to realize you got to put a little more work into it. Like you were just saying, every 6 months. Okay. Sometimes for some people that's that. If they really have some challenges in front of them, none of which are impossible. Again, I'm going to reiterate that on Papa Smurf blue in the face. But you may have to put a little more work in to keep the ball rolling. You know, like I do believe sugar is basically a drug, especially in the amounts that we see in the foods. So if someone's really on a high sugar diet, lots of soda, candy, sweets, things like that, they have to detox, and they're going to have to detox for at least a month, maybe 2 months, maybe even longer. So they can go and treat themselves to baklava, to something of that nature, and not regress where all of a sudden they're like, fiending, scratching in the corner, and all that kind of thing.
So talk to us a little more how this kind of relates to your concept of reverse dieting, and kind of explain what it is, because I've never heard the term before. So all you.
Like we yes, I agree. The word diet is been classified or just thought of in a really bad way. It's just what you eat, the list of foods that you go through day in, day out. Diet is just a list of foods. So the reverse dieting concept, a lot of members will come here. A lot of people come here because we run a lot of challenges to really kickstart their transformations and their health journey, health process. And they've come already dieting for 6-7 months. Oh my God, I've done it for years. I've done, this my entire life. I know no other way. And some of them have done it on their own to the point where they've taken in so little calories, they've basically shut their metabolism down, right? We all, us in the business, we kind of understand the energy in, energy out concept. But being that low, you start shutting things down, you start slowing things down, the body starts getting rid of muscle masses. It's not as optimal as it used to be. So we really need to creep things back up. So in all seriousness, some of my challengers, I haven't told them, but I've actually given them more calories than what they're used to eating. And they're seeing some amazing results. We're building back up to what science defines as, a healthy metabolic rate. So the healthy number of calories that you would have each and every day. And it's kind of weird starting off a transformation journey doing that, but sometimes we need to, because someone has been on a diet for so long, they're just at a low. And you see this with people that feel skinny fat or feel like they keep dieting, and they're running and they're doing this and Pilates and this and that and CrossFit, and they're not changing. They're not seeing positive results. It's a big indicator that something's off. So what we do is every week or so, we'll increase 100 calories or so, giving them guidelines to go by X amount of protein, things like that. And we build them up closer to what would be considered a normal level of food intake. And we do the same exact thing coming out of our challenges. We do whittle our members down, 500-600 calorie deficit, but then we want to return them to normal. So if they stay with us, fantastic, we can keep going, we can rebuild you and then cut again. But if you decide not to, at least we leave you in a better place than you came in. You know how to make better food choices, even while having that treat meal or the treat itself, to make, okay, this is how much I can have, and then that's it, no more. So they have like an exit plan. So the reverse dieting is just, with dieting, we cut calories to lose body fat. That's what I see as the ultimate goal. With reverse dieting, we just increase it. So we increase your metabolic rate, to a normal level without adding the fat back, showing you can eat normally, or I shouldn't say normally, right? I mean, what's normal? You can eat regular or, more amounts of food without putting that weight back on, that dreaded 5-10 pounds you just busted your hump for 6 weeks for.
I think this is an important topic, and I know we've kind of hit on it here or there with a bunch of other people, but calories and calories in, calories out. So there is more to eating than my metabolic rate is this, and this is my calorie deficit. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. If you told me some clients eating 4,000 calories of just veggies, that they're going to gain weight, I'm not going to believe it. I just full-heartedly don't believe it. I believe every food is different. And we started seeing that shift with other weight programs. I think Weight Watchers is the best example of this, where they have foods that are 0 points. So if your daily point total, to those that don't know Weight Watchers, and then the worst foods are more points, meaning you get there quicker. Some are 0. Some give you back points. So it puts a little bit of different weight on different types of food, which is an interesting concept. And this is kind of how I feel. So I'm a believer that someone like myself, I eat 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. I'm sorry, it's not going to get me fat. It's because I work out 6 days a week. I'm building a lot of muscle. We know muscle is more dense than fat. We also know muscle burns more calories at rest than fat does.
Yep.
So it's having that understanding. And I also believe kind of something you were talking about with eating too little. And a lot of people think they need to snack very little tiny foods and they're getting like 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. But then all of a sudden, their body's in the starvation mode. So it's thinking that there's no food source. So it's just constantly storing fat. And then eventually, and they're like, but I'm not gaining weight. You're right. But the second you start eating a little bit more above from that 1,200, you're going to put the weight on like this because your metabolic rate has shut down.
Yes.
We need to focus on keeping our metabolic rates up. How do we do that? Exercising and eating the right foods, I think, are the two most important things. I don't know if you want to elaborate that on a little more.
Yeah. So with the eating the right foods, it's without getting into science, without getting into the craziness. Yes, there are certain foods that I'll say better quality, right? Good, better, best investments, kind of like you look at your bank account, right? There are certain foods you could have a whole, veggies nonstop. When you consider just numbers, calories, technically based on just math, yes, it would necessarily lead to weight gain. But how the food reacts to those, or the body reacts to those foods coming in, how it handles certain nutrients. One of the craziest things is, maybe not crazy, but not many people know that celery is basically a negative calorie, right? It takes more calories for your body to burn it than it contains itself. So it's something called thermogenic effect of food, right? That's why we always, at least here, we push for, try not to go for the bars, try not to go for the shakes. Start with an actual piece of, if you're into it, steak, or if you're into tofu, a protein source, then get your veggies and carbs. There is something to be said about the energy your body spends breaking food down. So yeah, you're probably burning a whole lot of those calories eating nothing but veggies, which is, leading you to not gaining weight. The quality of food is a humongous amount. Adding muscle mass is always huge, always a big thing. We have an entire week in our programming where we do nothing but strength focused workouts. At least one or two of our days during every other week, we have a strength focused workout where we try to build more muscle. We don't always do nothing but, plyometrics and cardio movements and things like that you would see in certain other training styles, which is what I love about what we do. We encompass it all to help stoke that fire, to give us the shape we want our bodies to be in. And then obviously with more muscle, yes, it burns more calories every pound of muscle you add on. And, it gives you the shape you want. Now, you're right. Someone who does nothing but undereat and could even eat vegetables, yes, you're probably not going to gain weight. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, and Anthony, I'm sure you've seen this, what's, the answer someone's come back to, can you tell me what you see when you look? Oh, I look fat. They may weigh 100 pounds, but they look fat. Okay. It's that soft appearance because they don't have any more muscle mass left. Let's pick up some barbells. Let's squat. Let's overhead.
It's the runner body. They burn all their muscle because they're running too much or they just don't eat enough food.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's what happens. The body gets rid of the muscle mass first and foremost. When you dip down so low, it doesn't need the extra muscle mass to survive. It needs the brain, it needs the organs, and it needs some stored fat just in case the food really runs out. So putting the muscle mass back on is a huge thing, and
look at professional bodybuilders. They kind of look chunky because they have such an enormous amount of muscle on their body.
Yes.
That if they weren't that little chunky, they wouldn't be able to have the calorie intake they needed to help support it. Or look at Michael Phelps. I think he said he eats something dumb like 10,000 calories a day.
Yes.
Think about that.
There's another fitness model, and I'm sure many people know him if you saw him, Joe Donnelly. You familiar with him?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so you know of him. You've probably seen him on covers, right? He talks about 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, probably even more than that. I'm probably off, but he does have the muscle mass. He has the muscle definition and the output. That guy works hard. I've seen his workouts. I've attempted a few of them. They are some tough ones, and he's working out 7 days a week, regardless.
Yeah, I think it's just important to emphasize, and you see it a lot. I talked about it on a show I did just strictly about protein, where especially women tend not to eat enough protein, probably because they just don't like meat or they stick to more the veggie sources and they're not getting the complete proteins in. But then when you start noticing, and I'm sure you notice with your clients, it's so easy to tell. their body fat roughly stays the same. Their waist might have gone down a little bit, but you're not really seeing the muscle definition really come through because they're not even eating close to their protein goal. And you ask them, like, what do you eat? Oh, well, I have some veggies and fruits, okay, in the morning. And where's the protein? Oh, I'll have like a little piece of chicken at dinner. Okay,
Yep.
let's double this. And I don't know whether it comes with the fallacy where women think that they're gonna be super muscular and look ripped. No, you got to take steroids for that. Just having an understanding of what's realistic and how much you actually need to eat. Like as a guy, like I'm sure like yourself, I weigh almost 200 pounds. So I'm trying to eat anywhere between 150 to 180 grams of protein a day.
Yeah,
just to build muscle on my body. And people don't realize how hard that is.
Yes, exactly.
Lots of chicken, man.
No, I mean, you do need to change it up. There are different nutrients in every single protein source. Yeah. You know, not to kick up a whole lot of dirt and a whole lot of craziness. I do encourage beef eating. I do encourage quality steak. I do encourage quality chicken. I do encourage quality salmon. I'm not the biggest fan of tofu. Protein shakes are awesome, but they should be in supplement. Like if you're having a hard time, you can't scarf it all down. That's when those come in. But yeah, I wish I had an answer for that, Anthony. And I agree with you 100% that women, the biggest, like everyone I've spoken to undereat in terms of protein. But women, yes, 100%. They seem to just eat, not have a concept of what an adequate amount is. And I have a client exactly like to what you just said. She's doing fantastic here. She's losing weight. She's dropping. But my concern is certain percentages, and I'm sure you know the ones I'm speaking about, certain body fat percentages aren't going down. And I'm not seeing the muscle definition because she's a beast here. She pushes. Okay, so she should see that reward. And some of the conversations I've had exactly have been that. So, you know, what'd you have for breakfast? What'd you eat for lunch? And how much protein you have? And you doing any of those shakes we talked about? Not really. Yeah. So yeah, protein is probably really, really underestimated in terms of the overall scheme of overall health, and especially what we do here, transformations.
I love it. And just kind of give us a little brief synopsis of what you guys do with specifically Fit Body Bootcamp, what you do with your clients. I know you talked about the overall well-being of the person. You're working with them reverse dieting. Just like a minute, quick run through of what a typical week looks like for your clients.
Okay, so what we do is we help out busy people. Our workouts are 30 minutes in length, maybe 35 depending on the one. We rotate through everything. We do a little bit of cardio. We do a little bit of what's known as Metcon. We do a heck of a good amount of strength, as I was mentioned to Anthony before. We focus on getting rid of body fat, increasing muscle tone, helping your body get those extra years going. You know, we help you change out your mindset. We help work with you in terms of getting smaller little habits, little things you could do day in, day out in nutrition to make the biggest impact. And we do so in a whole lot of ways. We provide recipes out the yang. We have challenges even for my regular members to join up and to see what new things they can do with it. All of our sessions are high intensity interval training, so we go back and forth. We really push limits here, there. As I said, we do slow it down with some weight training specifics. We try to get the biggest bang for the time allotted. And we're all busy. A lot of my members are, moms, busy moms who work and take care of a full family. I have a bunch of gentlemen here who do the exact same thing. And we just help them focus on that little bit of, that 80-20 rule, right? If you know what I'm talking about, the 20% of everything you do is what's going to get you 80% of your results. So we help you dial into that little bit through the coaching that we provide.
I love it, Mike. And we're going to ask you the final two questions we ask every single person on here. The first one is, what is your take-home inspiration message to our listeners? So I mean this, talk to the people that don't go to the gym, maybe are just contemplating thinking about starting to work out. What's the take-home message you can leave them?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Come in and do it. There's a lot of gyms out there. I can speak for Anthony. I can definitely speak for myself. We care. I've had people walk in, never done anything. I can talk about a push-up. They have no idea what it is. Don't be afraid to take that first step. You're going to better yourself. You're going to better your life. You're going to improve yourself so much. Everything else in your life is going to improve. With just clearing your mind, getting your body right, getting your health right, getting your food right, everything else in life's going to return. You're going to be a better father, a better mother, a better, parent, a better school teacher, a better police officer, a better banker. Whatever you do, everything is going to improve just from taking care of yourself. Don't let a little bit of fear hold back. I get it. Some of these places can be a little intimidating at first, right? We do some crazy things with some advanced clients, but we also all started from one place. We all had to learn how to do a sit-up at one point. Not all of us could have done a push-up. I could not. I was one of those kids that couldn't. So guess what? Don't be afraid. Bring a friend. I have a lot of people who bring friends here. If you need that support, get to know me. I'm a heck of a lot of fun. I try to make this as fun and energetic as possible. Don't be afraid to put your foot in that gym and just start. Just start. It doesn't have to be huge squats. Just one is a start.
I love it. Don't be afraid and just kind of get your foot in the door and take it from there. And Mike, the final question, probably the easiest one for you, is where can people get a hold of you? How can they find you? Where are you guys located?
Okay. We're located in Lindenhurst, right near the Babylon Town Hall. So the exact address is 51 East Sunrise Highway. We're right near Dunkin' Donuts. So we can always come by, have a chat about nutrition and fitness, and have a great cup of coffee with only stevia and skim milk if you need. All right. Easiest place you can find me is, Lindenhurst Fit Body Bootcamp on Facebook, lindenhurstfbbc.com. So Lindenhurst Fit Body Bootcamp, fbbc.com. The two best places. Also, our handle on Instagram is at Lindenhurst FBBC there. So, those are the main places you can come find us.
Awesome. And thank you so much for coming on, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys for joining us on this week's episode of Health and Fitness Redefined. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and join us next week as we dive deeper into this ever-changing field. And remember, fitness is a journey, not a destination. Until next time.